a little early because I'm making breakfast, and I always thought it was kind of interesting that you miss out on that part. Got my iced coffee, got my honey, got all these little bits and pieces. So we are going to have a good little time today. So there we go. So yeah, I'm gonna make breakfast. It's gonna be the first part of the show. So yeah, what's up? How's it going? I hope it's well. Pancakes. Making pancakes. So, I got this cool little confetti pancake thing. Keep this cold for right now. So I got these cool confetti pancakes that I'm pretty happy about. They're silly, which is, as we all know, is forever preferable as far as my preference on most things. Silly is always good. So just to keep this all interesting. Bam. Yeah. I have been trying to figure out what I want to talk about this week as far as the Painter Breakfast show. And it's been a crazy week. You know, you've been alive. You've been seeing it. And there's a lot to talk about on the Instagram show. So when we kick that in, we will jump into all of it. I'm always been a pro-choice person as far as life goes and people and all these things, and it's just really important to me that people have the right to choose whether they want to have kids or not. I'm not interested in debating it with anyone. I feel how I feel about it. I personally, if you disagree with me, I personally don't care. There's no valid reason you could tell me for why people shouldn't have the freedom to decide what they want to do with their bodies. I'm not a religious person, so I'm not one to really care about your religious reasons for why you feel that way. Like, it's fine for you, but I don't think that gives you any right to tell anybody else how to live their lives. It just doesn't. Like, your religion is supposed to be for you. And so, that is the way I look at it, that's the way I see it. It's supposed to be something that guides you in your life, not that gives you the right to dictate other people's existence in any way. Wish I could just show you what all this looks like, actually. Let's see. We'll make this into a weird cooking show, if I can get this to work. I just don't want to throw my iPad into batter. So yeah. And yeah, the Painter Files podcast, as well as the Painter Files show and Painter's Breakfast, have always been very pro women. Like, you can't paint what I paint and not be for women. It seems strange that that could be a possibility. I think I've known a lot of people who've been, you know, they've profited off the images of women but not actually supported women. And I don't understand that. I'm oftentimes caught off guard and blown away by the inability for people to use something but then also not be supportive of the same thing, or thing is not the right word. People. So that's kind of where I stand on all this. So today's breakfast, so you guys know, is going to be pancakes and vegan eggs. I picked those up yesterday because I've been talking to Pretty, who's a suicide girl, a friend of mine, and we have been talking about like vegan food and all that stuff. And I've mostly been eating vegan on the show, and so I thought, why not? You know, I've been using this stuff. It's not like I've never tried it. I didn't like it. I've had it before, and I'm very fond of it. So yeah, you know. So I'm gonna make the pancakes first, and then I'm gonna make everything else. You see my junkie kitchen, all the strange little things we have in here. Vegan. I'm always kind of amused by like the weird things that people get that like aren't vegan that they put in their food when they're making vegan food. So it's a very vegan Painter Files today. Presents Painter's Breakfast. Egg stuff. I'll show you how this looks real quick. Ooh, buttery, but not butter, but buttery margarine. You get that, you get that. This is gonna be like all over the place. And then on the further point, we're gonna have the actual Painter's Breakfast show after all this is over. So that should be interesting. Just a lot of a lot. I always like to like make when I'm making pancakes. I always like to kind of give them a little bit of time to sit, so they get a little more goopy. Congeal, that's the word, congeal. And then I'm also a strong believer in like clean as you go, so you don't have to clean everything all at once when this is all over. So if you see me walk off for a second to wash something, that's just how I do it. I'm a strong believer. I worked in a kitchen for a long time, actually. I worked in multiple kitchens throughout the years. I did not love working in kitchens as a thing. It was very difficult and kind of hard to do. Not physically hard, but it was definitely not enjoyable. And a lot of times, people that I worked with were kind of jerks, so that didn't help. Stumptown coffee. So Stumptown is very important to me because Stumptown, Alec and I, when we went on our honeymoon to Portland, Oregon, we went into the hotel, stayed at the Ace Hotel in the Silver District, and Stumptown was like the place we went to at the bottom of the restaurant. And it's always been like this really like wonderful place to me. They make good coffee. Yeah. So yeah, with pancakes, what I always like to do is you kind of let them go. You see like those little bubbles, like that part right there? You want that to look like that the whole way around. Yeah. My recycle bin just kind of in the middle. I think it's important to recycle. You should too. Yeah. Just gonna let this go. Give you some little sexy dances while this happens. You're welcome. Only sexy dances for the exclusive YouTube Painter Files presents Painter's Breakfast. Audience. Instagram doesn't get this. Only you get this. Enjoy your beautiful menagerie of dance moves and cooking tips. A little better, a little better. Don't want to burn them, but I'll give it a little bit more time. I find it easiest to like not turn the heat up too high, because then they like burn. That's not good. You also don't want to wait. You also like want to wait long enough where when you flip it, it doesn't like just kind of go everywhere. I'll show you. Alright. Pancake gods be kind. Oh yeah, it worked. Oh yeah. This is what they look like when they're cooked. I just saw them. I don't really care about confetti stuff, but I just saw them and I was like, this is cute. I want to have a cute breakfast. That's my goal. Cute breakfast 2022. Got a dead honey bear over here. So. But I got new honey. Glass. I try to always get stuff in glass and not in plastic. It's just not as good for the environment. Or it's bad for the environment. So, you want to see a picture real quick? This is me and Alec when we first got together. Wait. Yeah. we were quite younger at this time. I think I was still in my 20s actually. I'm 40 now. So I'm a little older, some would say. Just a little older. A tiny bit. Just the tiniest of tiny bits. I give a little push just to make sure everything's okay. Feels good. And then to the plate. I'm going to do this like one more time with the rest of my batter. And then we can start the show as soon as all this is over. Once again, I'm going to wash this bowl out because I don't want to just have this sitting in my sink all day. And then I wash it before I put it in the dishwasher. Because your dishwasher is not a garbage disposal. It is not meant to take on large amounts of filth and whatnot. You end up with all types of issues. I had to I had to clean the hose for it once. That was a nightmare. That was a freaking nightmare. It was so gross. I like these shorts. I don't know. They just feel nice. I'm always touching them. It must look weird. But, need a little more margarine. I feel like this is a little too dry. If you have any pancake chips, by the way, that you're not seeing me do, I will happily accept most of them. I know some of you guys are perverts. And got weird pancake pervert stuff to talk about. I'm not here for it. Right. So, we're almost ready. It's real close. The only thing I don't like about this Just Egg stuff is it doesn't quite work exactly the same way. So, while that's going, I'm gonna prep an onion because I like my eggs to have like stuff in them. I'm not like an egg person. So, no one talk about my knife technique. I have not practiced it in a very long time, and I'm not going to, so there's that. I'm just kind of loosely chopping it up, and then just, going from there. It's eggs, so I mean, you don't really need to go super fine with it. So I'm not. And this is like a fresh onion. I just did this like yesterday. So got that. Grab a little clove. I normally go like crazy with garlic, but I think today I'm just gonna do like 1 clove of garlic. Alright, so flip this bad boy. Hopefully I didn't burn him. If I did, that's okay. He's a little darker than I typically go with my pancakes. But I was so busy talking about everything else. A little darker, but that's okay. Still delicious. I just gotta make sure I don't overdo the other side. Otherwise, we just won't have 2 pancakes. That's how that'll work out. There will not be 2 pancakes. Now, I like my garlic to be pretty big, so I don't chop it up very much. Yeah, it's okay. You just want to look at that other side very much. Alright. Now I like the pancake taste, so I'm not going to wash this out before I do my eggs. Last bit of margarine. I know I use a lot of margarine. I like it so much. And then get that going again. Throw some of that onion. All of it, not some of it. Wash that guy. When you have like a hot skillet, it kind of works better because it cooks a little faster. So, let that go. I am from a long lineage of people who season their food. So, ain't nothing in my life not got seasoning on it. If I don't add seasoning to my food, I'm a clone. I'm a very bad clone of my own life. So that's cumin, a little Old Bay because we're in Maryland, pepper, oregano, lots of cracked pepper. Old Bay's kind of like a salt, a little bit. And then I add like some chili flakes. And then just let that cook for a second. Leave it a little undisturbed after I disturb it for a second as I'm talking to you. And just kind of go from there. Got a pancake piece that didn't, a straggler. This is gonna be a lot of food. I know. So yeah, let that cook for probably another 50, 60 seconds. And then we'll add the egg. And then we can finally start the actual show. That's almost 20 minutes now. We just talking to you in the kitchen. Yeah, I don't know. I get lonely in the kitchen sometimes. I'm just like cooking by myself. I like ice in my coffee because I'm one of those people. But you put ice cubes in there, the ice is gonna melt. It's gonna make water in your coffee. Yeah, I don't care about that, so that's fine. Alright, so the egg stuff, it literally just comes out like it's a straight up liquid. You just kind of pour it around it how you want. And then with the pancake syrup that it looks like it is, you kind of just let it cook. And you move it around a little bit. This is how these things go. Also, I got my Champagne Papi, Mi Gente, Radioactive Papi shirt on. Danny Limelight, what's up? He's a wrestler that I really enjoy. And yeah. I had no idea this was going to take this long. I've never really timed myself doing any of this. never timed myself doing it. So the gate is so the cats don't just bust into the kitchen constantly and do bad things. They still do, but this way I can at least pretend like I'm trying to stop them. Whether I'm successful at it or not, I can pretend that I'm stopping them. So the only other thing I don't like about this stuff is that it burns to the pan pretty easily, so you have to cook it on a pretty low heat. It doesn't quite cook like eggs. It tastes like eggs, but it doesn't quite cook like eggs. So there's a bit of a war that goes on between me and this stuff. I can't just let it sit non-stop this whole time. Show you what I'm doing. So this is very difficult, by the way, to do this with one hand. Probably dangerous. So probably gonna stop doing this in a second. But yeah, that's what it looks like. What's up? Now you know, and this is what I look like. So yeah, it's cooking now. We are cooking. I'm desperately hoping this doesn't fall behind my stove. I mean, I can pull my stove out, but I don't want to. I don't remember the last time I really like deep cleaned behind my stove. So I'm just like, I don't want to do that right now. Yeah, it's my vegan spicy egg recipe. How I throw down in said kitchen. I don't think people realize like I actually cook food. I think they think like I mostly just like make prep stuff and that's it. But no, I cook. Primarily I cook actually in the house. Al cooks a little bit when she wants to, but she's busy, so I try to cook most of the time, just to have the option to do so. And I like the way I cook. I think I'm a good cook, so. I never wanted to be a chef or anything like that. I did enjoy, there are definitely parts of being a cook that I enjoyed, but there are other parts of being a cook that I didn't. There's kind of a little bit of a militant aspect to working in kitchens that doesn't work for me. Not militant, military-esque type thing that doesn't work for me. I'm definitely one of those people who will fight you if you get in his face. And I like ketchup on my eggs. I'm one of those people. I know that's a controversial thing for some of you, but I like ketchup on my eggs. And then syrup. And that's how we make Panda's breakfast. I don't eat this every day, obviously. It's not something you should eat every day. But every once in a while, this is good. It's good to have good food. Good food has this really great feeling that you get in your heart and in your soul. And so, it's good to just be able to like do this every once in a while and be happy. And preferably not trash your kitchen while you do it. So this has been the pre-show for Panda's breakfast, and now we're gonna have the actual show. I may not do this ever again, just to give you a heads up, a look in. We're not doing the studio today. We're just gonna do in the regular spot that I normally do it in. Let me pull this up so we can get this going. I'm not gonna have my painter's breakfast. Let me see, live show. Painters. Let's see. be sneaky about this. You are invited to this week's Painters Breakfast. It's funny you do this stuff and you're like, wait, did I spell that right? Yes. Boom, we're connected. We're on it. Hola, gracias. I'm Jaws Blake. This is Painter's Breakfast. Yeah. If you followed me on the YouTube channel, you watched me prep all this stuff. But, you know. So you can check that out if you like. Go to Painter Files on YouTube.com. And, yeah. I don't think that's actually the address. So I'm going to shoot some of these out to people who might want to join me. If they want to, they can. If they don't have to. Let's see. I think that's good for now. Yeah. Alright. So I sent it out to like a bunch of people. Cool. So yeah, I got my Painter's Breakfast going. Doing it. Yeah, so I got vegan eggs with onions and garlic, and then I got pancakes, crazy little confetti pancakes, and we're off. We're having a blast. Hey Tina, hey man. So yeah, I got the vegan stuff going today, which is pretty good. So pancakes are the just add water type, which is always nice. I like that because it's too much trouble to make everything else. Plus, I'm trying to do vegan breakfast. You can gift that if you like. my knife licks. You can gift that, or GIF or whatever you want to call it. And then vegan eggs. Confetti pancakes are good. They're silly. I don't know that there's any. They don't seem to taste different to me. I had never had them before. But they're very cute. And I got my Stumptown coffee, my Stumptown iced coffee. And let me see, what else? In my oat milk creamer. I'm messing with filters. There we go. Sexy filter. Alright. Yeah, so doing that. I'm gonna mess with the filter on the YouTube actually real quick. Wait, one. No. These are so bad, I have to show you. YouTube's trying to like make theirs, and like this is like a bubble filter. That's the worst thing I've ever seen. We'll go with that one. Dream. Ooh, Noir. We'll go with that one. Actually, I like that one better. So, move on to this one. So, yeah. Let me see. Tina says, nah, it's just sugar, I'm sure. But it's a little burst of joy. I agree to that. It is nice. It does feel good to eat them. They are fantastic. Alright, so I'm waiting all week to talk about this on the show because, yeah, life. Fuck the Supreme Court. It's the most evil thing I've ever heard in a while, that they reversed Roe versus Wade. It's disgusting. I'm so incredibly disappointed on all facets of the government that they would allow something like this to happen. So many people's lives are in danger. Fuck them. I think the most frustrating thing I've run across is hearing somewhat older people say, yeah, you just got to get out there and vote. And it's like, well, we did vote, and y'all didn't do anything. So I'm very annoyed and upset by this, and I'm scared for everyone with a uterus who has to go through this. It's not acceptable. And I say this again because I said it on my YouTube channel. I'll say it now. You should not be someone who draws and paints as an artist images of women and then not be supportive of women. Like, that's insane. It's so just upsetting and ridiculous, and I'm deeply disappointed in a lot of men who are either completely silent on this or have insanely stupid takes on this. Like, yes, we do have to show up to vote when voting comes to hopefully get better people in charge who will then protect people. But for the people who are already in charge, like, in all honesty, like, you were voted to protect people to begin with. And you're not doing a good job. I'm just upset about it. Like, I've known so many people in my life who've had to have epitopic. I'm not sure how to say it. It's basically when you have a stillborn, and then you have to. Exactly. Fuck Joe Biden. You have a stillborn, so you basically have to have surgery to have it removed because your body's not going to get rid of it by itself. I don't know where any of these people who are supposed to be coming to our aid are right now. I know ALC's pissed. That's about it. I know Ayanna Presley's pissed. The squad seems to be very upset about it. But they seem to be the only ones who are genuinely upset about it. Nancy Pelosi pretending to be upset about it doesn't quite have the same ire to it. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris pretending to kind of be upset about it doesn't quite have the same to it. Like, I'm confused. I keep telling people, I'm like, I'm going to give it a week to see if they try to pass a bunch of laws that will fix this. Even if they get shot down, like the attempt to try to do it. It's a huge deal. I'm so tired of people in politics using our bodies and our rights as like ways for them to kick up funds for their platforms, ask for money, do all this stuff. Like, it's very frustrating. I don't pretend that I know everything about politics because I know somebody's going to jump in this eventually and be like, well, just so you know, type of thing. I'm expecting that. That's how all these things go. There's always someone who's trying to just, kick it in our faces that they have some form of political history that we don't. Some is knowledgeable, some is you take them at their words because they're older or they come off more knowledgeable. Though there is something to be said about, like, not everybody knows everything. Some people are just really good at talking. I'm just fearful for all these people. Like, I'm very fearful for these people who will be affected directly by this. There was this article I was reading recently on Latino rebels, and it was saying this is something that's going to be a problem for generations because you're forcing people to have kids who are not ready and in some cases just don't want them, who are now going to grow up in poverty because they can't go to work the way they would before. They can't go to school the way they would before. And so now they're stuck in those situations. And having a baby is like a very physical thing that happens to people. There's so many things that can go wrong. It's quite difficult, actually. I keep thinking back to my own daughter that passed and just how difficult that was in my life. Even in my ex-wife's life, like, I didn't understand exactly how postpartum depression worked at the time. I was very young. We both were. And it was, it was difficult. It was very difficult. But the choice to go through that or not go through that was ours. And my ex-wife at the time, it was her choice. And it should always be that way. There's just so much. I'm just very sad for all these people. I think of like Frida Kahlo and all these women in art who are like these incredible women who had injuries and couldn't have kids. But they chose to continue to be artists and express themselves and have the right to do so. Well, Frida was in Mexico. I think of like Keane, her big eye paintings, and all this stuff. Like, they were all women who chose to talk about their experience as women. And it's important that they are allowed to do so. There are many reasons that pregnancies aren't vital. Yes. There's so many reasons beyond anything that I've mentioned. Some, on many occasions, just because you don't want to have a kid. That's more than enough. Or, as someone so nicely said in a post I saw, it's none of your fucking business. It's none of your fucking business whether they want to have kids or not have kids. It's not up to you. That's your choice about you. That's not about anybody else. Most men are very afraid of the whole idea of a menstrual cycle. So it's kind of interesting that they have so many hard, like, I'm going to tell you how to live your life type shit opinions. Because it's, yeah, you're not really viable. There we go. Yeah, most men are babies, so it's kind of interesting and stupid that they are the way they are about most of this stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Today, gonna work on a painting from a dream I had. Still working on that. Got the podcast. Got to do that. Got about 5 commissions I got to work on, so I got that. Actually 6, because I got to do one that FedEx lost. Got to work some more on that. I'm trying to work on that like really hard, so get that going. Yeah, again, men, everyone. It's none of your business why people want to have kids or not have kids. Like, that's a personal choice, and choice is the key word. I'm gonna talk about this in the podcast too. Like, this isn't going away. I will not be a silent person in all of this, where it doesn't affect me. Like, we all know women via family, friends, coworkers, so on and so forth. And this affects anyone with a uterus. Sorry, not just women. Anyone with a uterus, it affects them and their ability to make the choice to decide what they want to do. And that is not something that should be taken lightly. And it's also something that shouldn't be decided by somebody else, let alone the Supreme Court of all types of awful people. Yeah. Painter's breakfast, people. We get honest sometimes. You got to deal with it. Yeah. So I'm gonna go work on that. I love you all very much. For everybody's gonna see this later. Super Tina, one of the best. Yeah. Tomorrow's another day. Hell, the rest of the today is another day. So I will see you later. To my point, Tina says, all right, is that you can have an opinion, but that doesn't mean you should have the power to make the decision for people in my body because of your opinions. Damn straight. Love you too, man. I hope whoever's in pain, if anybody's in pain right now, I hope this helps a little. If you need, please contact me. I'll happily talk to you about whatever. Yeah, and the longer show with more ridiculousness and also the cooking stuff is on the YouTube channel, and that'll be up later today. All right, Painter out. Ciao. Bye. Yeah. Bye. Painter out. Ciao.